So, very good evening, everyone. Welcome to this live YouTube session where we are going to see how to build indicator-based algos from scratch. So, a lot of people know Algoverse supports both time-based and indicator-based setups, but a lot of people aren't able to, correctly express or give inputs of the strategy that they have in mind into Algoverse. So, in today's session, we'll have a very beginner-friendly, indicator-based algos building session. So, let's not waste any further time. Let's jump right into it. So, for people who are using Algoverse for the first time, who are getting to know about Algoverse for the first time, Algoverse is Upstox native algo trading platform where we can build any kind of algos without writing a single line of code. And we have access to both ready-made algos. That is, we have close 19 ready-made algos that are curated by our experts and which are also exchange approved. On top of it, we can backtest any strategy with close to 10 years of historical market data and automate them all in one platform. So, so before we start with, building indicator-based algos, let's see the basic of why we should do a backtest. A lot of people might know about backtest, but few people may not. So I'm explaining backtest for those. So backtest is nothing but, let's say you have a trade idea or trade logic in your mind, but the actual, let's say, trade metrics. What is the actual win rate? How much, max loss or max profit that trade could cost me or gain me? And what is the average profit or average loss that I can expect? So all those, let's say, without backtesting, it's like shooting in the dark. It can be only tested with a real capital. For example, let's take a friend of mine comes to me and says, if you buy a call option, that is a premium 200 call option, every time the Nifty digs about R1, you will for sure guarantee 90% of the time make 20 premium points. That is gain 20 premium points. My friend says this. Now I have two options. Either trade based on what he said without referring to any historical data or anything, and then find out whether the strategy works out or not, after a set of profits and losses. The smart thing to do is actually run this trade logic or trade setup through backtesting and let's see what the data has to say. So let's come to the backtest section of Algoverse. And here, right in the first, we can select our backtest duration. As I told, we have close to 10 years of past market data in Algoverse. So let's do something. Let's backtest something from 2023. And I'm backtesting it from 2023 Jan till, let's go with the last completed month, that is July. And I'm naming this run, that is this strategy, R1 breakout. And here I'm choosing what instrument I want. And in Algos, we have all the major indices and FNO stocks. So I'll select Nifty here, and I want my conditions to work on the Nifty spot. So I'm choosing equity index, and this is where it's getting interesting. We have come to the indicators tab, and Algos is one of the very few platforms, or I think the only platform where users can find 85 plus technical indicators and analytical tools right inside the platform that is built in the platform. Most of the algo trading platforms that are available in the market today either require you to generate even a basic indicator signal from third-party views apps. That is, let's say, from TradingView or Charting or something like that. But in Algoverse, we have option for both. That is, we can use the inbuilt indicators itself, or if you have any, if you're following any custom indicator in trading view, or you have fine coded your own setup, you can generate alerts from it, and based on the alerts, you can execute and automate the trades and algorithms. So here we have close to 85 plus technical indicators and analytical tools. Starting from your basic super trend, RSI, EMA, VWAP, and we have, let's say, indicators, some features built as indicators. Let's say range breakout. So for range breakout, I can just simply mention the range which I want to, create. And let's say I'm giving from 9:15 to 10:15, the first 1 hour. And based on this, Algoverse will give me the urgency values of that particular range. So we can create a range breakout just like that. So now coming back to our thing, I'm checking with pivot points now. And after setting up your required indicators, let's come to the entry win situation, the entry win section. And here I'll select the edit option, and and giving your inputs, or let's say automating the strategy in Algoverse, it's very simple. As I told, it's a no-code algo trading platform. We need not write any line of code to automate your setup. We are just automating it in plain English. So I'm saying that my current close, that is the current 5 minute candles close, should have crossed above the pivot point R1. So that is my entry condition. So I have my required indicators here. And after setting up them in the indicator section, I'm configuring them here in the entry one tab. So now I've given my entry condition. Now I should input the algo what to trade. So after the price closes above R1, I'm instructing it to trade a premium near 200 call option. And our aim here is to capture 20 points. And let's say stop loss, I can keep whenever the price crosses below R1. It could be the very next candle, or let's say it could be 5 candles or 10 candles from the breakout candle. So whenever the price comes below R1, I'm exiting. So this is the setup my friend told me, that if you trade this whenever it happens with this parameters, there is a 90% win rate for you. So we are going to check whether the same thing holds with close to 4 years of past market data. So after setting all this, I can configure the transaction targets and day targets. For this particular setup, I don't have any. And let's allow maximum of 2 transactions per day. Or let's say for start, let's go with one, and then based on. So after configuring all this, I have to simply click on run. Now, Algoverse will run this trade logic or trade idea through the past 4 years of market data and give me a very comprehensive report. So here we have it. Right on top, I have my gross result, whether the strategy is gross profitable or gross loss, and I have my backtest time period. And here I have my equity curve and the major parameters between below them. So my friend told it has a 90% win rate, for example, but data shows it has only, let's say, 49.5% win rate, round it off, let's say 50% win rate. And this strategy over the, let's say, last 4 years of time has had a drawdown of, that is max drawdown of 26,500, which had happened over 54 trading days, which is, let's say, more than 2.5 months, close to 3 months in calendar months. And we have our average profit, average loss, max profit, max loss, and how the strategy is performed, day wise, year wise, and month wise. And the best part in Algoverse is data says I have 396 transactions for this exact entry condition, and I have access to every single increase and exits. Let's say if I wanted to see what happened, say 3 years back, let's go to August. Let's say August 9, let's say exactly 3 years back. And we have traded a 19,450 call option. And this has happened at the towards the very end of the market section. And we can see this is closed due to the exit time, exit criteria. And if I want to see what happened on, let's say, October 27th, the R1 breakout happened as early as 9:35. And let's say within some 15, 20 minutes, we hit our target. So like this, I have access to all the 396 transactions. And I can also download all this data as CSV and use it in Cloud or ChatGPT for further analysis. So I think now you guys would have understood why we are backtesting, right? That is, if I had just trusted my friend's words and say, and traded the R1 breakout every single time, I would have, wanted a 90% breakout rate, sorry, win rate. And let's say I would have thought maximum we can lose is say what 20, 30 points maybe. But a simple backtest shows me that the win rate is just close to 50%. And I should expect a drawdown that is close to 26, 27,000. And moreover, the drawdown can last more than 54 trading days. And there is a possibility that a max loss of more than 4,900, let's say close to 5,000 rupees, can happen in one single transaction. All of this I wouldn't know unless I trade with my real money. Or I could do a simple backtest and find out what the major metrics are. The reason to do a backtest here is to have a general understanding about the strategy. Now, what could the general win rate be? Now, what can I expect as the drawdown, and what will be the drawdown time frame? And on an average per trade, how much can I expect? Let's say simple average terms, an average profit of 1,242 and an average loss of 1,000 rupees. So now when I trade this, I have my expectations set right. That is, even out of 10 trades, I'm losing 4 trades. I'll be okay because the historical win rate is just close to 50%, and it's kind of normal for this strategy. And say if I lose 1,200 rupees in one trade, I'll be okay with it because I know the max loss can go up to 4,500. As opposed to trading this without knowing anything, just based on someone's words or let's say your own intuition, you will find out all of this by costing your real capital. So that's the reason we should do a back test and find out whether this strategy will actually suit us and what is this strategy actually like and whether I can trade it across different market conditions. So that's the simple reason why we are doing a back test. Now, coming to indicator-based algo creation. As I told, Algoverse is one of the few platforms that have inbuilt indicator setups, and no other platform has, let's say, more than 85 plus indicators and technical tools built in. And on top of that, we have trading external signal alerts also. So now let's try to build simple strategies with indicators that people use in real life or not or on a day-to-day basis. So let's start with Nifty and let's backtest the setup for last 1 year. Here we are going to use three simple indicators, that is three common indicators. One is super trend, second one is RSI, third one is EMA, exponential moving average. So I'll name this strategy super trend, RSI, and EMA. So first thing is let's add all these indicators first. So I should come to the indicators section, click on the add indicators tab. And here I have a simple moving average already loaded in. To change the indicator, I have to click here. And from here, I can select from all the available indicators. So first, I'll be selecting a super trend. And as you guys can notice, all the indicators are customizable actually. It's not like I have one fixed 10 comma 2, 10 comma 3 indicator. So let's say super trend, I have to trade only with that. Here, I can customize the time right from 1 minute to 1 hour. I can change the period, I can change the ATR multiplier. Let's say here I want a 10 comma 2.3 super trend. And indicator is on 5 minutes. And I can also change my chart type, whether I want it on a normal candlestick, whether I want it in high Kanashi, open interest and volume chart also. So I've saved this. Next indicator I'm going to add is RSI. So similar with the RSI, I can change my period, I can change, see and choose from the all the different time frames that is available. And next one is the exponential moving average. And let's change the name to, let's see, let's go with higher period moving average. Let's go with EMA 50. This is the 50 period exponential moving average. And I have kept every indicator in the 5 minute time frame. And I've made a customization to the super trend. So after this, we are going to see how to input this. So first, let's come to the entry event section and start with edit. And here I can add my first condition. As I told, building strategies in Algoverse is very simple and we don't require even a single line of code. We can just build it like, you know, current close is above super trend. It's as simple as that. And here what I'm doing is I'm giving the add condition option. So the thing with Algoverse is I can give multiple indicators and multiple combination of indicator combinations in one single entry or exit point. So here I'm saying my current low should be above super trend, and at the same time, the RSI value, the 5 minute RSI value should be above 50. And I'm also saying that the 5 minute candle close, I mean, should be above the 50 period EMA. So this is my entry condition. And as you can see, I have unconditioned in between all. That is current close above super trend and RSI above 50 and current close above EMA 50. So in one particular 5 minute candle close, all of this values should have been met simultaneously. Let's say current close is above super trend and current close is above EMA 50. But if RSI is just 48 or even 49, just 1 point short, we won't take the trade. By given or unconditioned, every single condition that's given here should match simultaneously. And for exit, let's try it with super trend. I want my exit to happen as soon as my 5 minute, super trend, sorry, my 5 minute current close comes below the super trend, comes and closes below the super trend. And when this happens, I want to trade, say, a spot based ITM3 call option, in the money 3 call option. And let's leave this open first. That is, I'm not going to give any fixed stop loss or take profit. All the entries and exits are based on this. And let's backtest this for the last one. And I'm giving two max transactions per day. That is, I'm allowing the same entry condition to be traded twice. Let's say at 9:30 this condition appears. I'm taking a trade. The first trade ends up in either profit or loss. Again, let's say at 11:30 or 12:30, for a second time, the same condition appears on the market. So I'm giving room for two max transactions in a day. So when all the configuration is done, I simply have to click run and Algos will run this trade logic through past 1 year and tell me the results. So I thought this would be a good strategy because, or at least I'd be gross profitable. But data says otherwise. I have a 40% win rate, and my average profit is close to 3,000, average loss is close to 3,100. And I have a huge drawdown, that is an 80,000 drawdown over 71 trading days. And as you can see, the months which were bullish, the strategy has worked out good. But let's say this year, 2026, except for 1 month, this hasn't worked out good. So one more thing is the strategy that is working in, let's say, one particular year has no compulsion to work in the next year. So don't, place too much confidence on very past historic data. The strategy's performance is consistent across all years, then it's okay. But if it's performing well in 1 year and not performing well in another year, then we should be cautious. So this is how you can input a three indicator setup in Algoverse. And for the people who are watching it live, can you guys tell me how many of you guys have already been using Algoverse and how many of you guys are getting to know about Algos for the first time? If you have any queries, do put it in the YouTube live. Your questions will get answered then and there. Now, let's try to automate a trend-based credit spread. So, what I mean by trend-based credit spread. So here also saying this is an indicator-based setup, but I'm going to trade a spread version instead of a buying version. And the indicators we're going to use is very simple. One is super trend, another one is let's say pivot points. And let's backtest this over, let's say, last 4 years or 5 years. Let's start with 2022. This is close to 4.5 years. That's fine. So this strategy is a trend following credit spread. So how to create a trend following strategy with indicators and algos? Very simple. We just need two indicators here. One is we have a current candle by default. That is, another one is a super trend, a standard 10,2 super trend in the 5 minute time frame. Next one is the pivot points. So after this, let's come to the entry event section. And the conditions which I'm going to give here is very simple. That is, first one, let's create this for the uptrend when the markets are bullish. So I'm giving the current close should be above the super trend. Second condition is the current close also should be above the R1 range. So this is my entry condition. Exit condition also trend following. So current close crosses below super trend. So when this happens, and let's say I want to add one more filter that I want all my trades to take after 9:20. Or so here what I'll do is I'll come to the add indicator section, sorry, the entry event section, click on add condition, and I'll add the time filter. So I'll give time of the day is about 9:20. So I'm avoiding the very first candle and I'm starting to accept trades from the second candle only. That is the second 5 minute candle. So after the entry and exit conditions are configured, Here I'm configuring a credit spread. So this is a bull strategy. So I'm going to sell an at the money put and buy a far OTM put for hedging. And in the leg side, I'm not going to have any stop loss or take profit. As I told, entry and exits are based only on this one, the entry and exit condition. There is no, let's say, fixed stop loss or take profit values for this particular strategy. And these type of strategies are called open target strategies. So, and here, my max transaction per day limit is 2, and I want my trades to close at 1510 XL. So the trade during time frame can also be adjusted. So let's see how this comes. So this is the result we have got over the last, let's say, 4.5 years. And we have a win rate that is close to 50%, and drawdown that's close to 30,000 and over 50 trading days. And my max profit and max loss figures are here also. And here I can see how the strategy is performed across multiple time frames. Let's say in 2025, it seemed to perform good, but not so much good in the first 3 months of 2026. And I can also see individual transactions as I told. So we have automated a credit spread. But have you guys noticed I've only given it for the bull trend? That is when markets are bullish. What if I told I can automate both bullish and bearish strategies or bearish conditions inside one single strategy? So I've given this trend following credit spread, but I haven't specified which trend it is. Reason is I can add two different conditions, that is one bullish and one bearish, inside the same strategy. So here what I'm going to do is, as the setup is very similar, I'm just going to clone this, use the clone case option. So case one will have the bullish conditions and case two now will have the bearish condition. So what I have to do is simple. I have to click on edit, change the current close is above super trend to below super trend, and change the current close is, what is this, above R1 to below S1. And for exit, simple, current close process above super trend. And here I have to change it to call sell and a call buy. So just like that, I've created bullish and bearish scenarios inside one single strategy. This is how easy it is to automate, backtest, and execute any algo trading strategy in Algoverse. It's like giving commands in plain English. That is current close above super trend, time of the day is above 9:20. So now let's test. Let's give uh, same two transactions. I think that's enough. Now let's test the same thing. The results have improved, but the metrics fairly stay the same. And we can see the first 3 months, which were previously in loss, now it has covered. So we're covering for both the situations here. If I have to see how the case two alone how it performs, I can click on the filter case option and see how the case two alone performs. And again, as these two are mutually exclusive strategies, either at one particular time, either case one will be active or case two will be active. We can run this with the same capital also. And this is how easy it is to automate a trend following credit spread in Algoverse. And let's make some edits to this. Let's say instead of, let's trade it when the or pivot point crossover happens. So instead of trading it at when the current close is below stop and already the pivot points is below, the price is below pivot point S1. I'm trading it when the crossover happens. That is cross above R1 and crosses below S1. We have made a simple change and let's see how this one works out. And we can see the results have fallen dramatically. And most of, let's say, 2022, 2023, and 2024, they have been fairly flat. And only, let's say, after 2025, the graph has started to pick up. And regarding the trading view backtest question, using the trade external signal feature, that is this external signal feature, we cannot do backtest. We can only automate our trades based on the signals. And how to do it's a very simple process. That is, we have this whole setup here itself. But simply, you can choose your vendor, that is, like you're trading your charting, and click on a postback URL. And you guys can copy this, save this, and paste it in the indicator tab. That is the indicators alert tab. And after pasting it there, can come and configure here external signal is true. So whenever that particular trading indicator generates an alert, here I can trade it. So it's as simple as that. But we cannot do back testing with this. We can only do you know automatic trades with this. And if you guys have any further questions, to put it in the YouTube live chat. And also do put your Algos experience. That is, whether you guys are using Algos for the first time or if you are a previous user, what is the one thing you like best about Algoverse? And now finally, let's try and build a multi-indicator setup. That is, let's say more than three and four indicators. And one more thing is there is no limit to the number of indicators which you guys can add in Algoverse. So let's say a strategy based on that. And let's practice this for the last, let's say, from Jan 2021 till yesterday. Let's name this multi-indicator setup. And I want all these indicators to work on the Nifty futures chart. So I'm changing it to futures. So here what I'm doing is I'm adding number of indicators that is starting with super trend, the standard 10 to 5 minute. Next is RSI. Next is pivot points. Next is Bollinger Bands. And here I can change the period of the Bollinger Bands. So let's say instead of 20, I can go with 15 period Bollinger Band. And say I can add an indicator called ADX. And I can also, compare it with the previous candle and let's say previous five candles, six candles, highest high. So what I'm doing is so the indicator name is called last 10 candles. And using this, what I can check is whether the price is above the last, let's say, three candles high. I want my trades to be taken only when the price has broken above the last three candles high. So we have added, let's say, more than five, six indicators here. And as I told, there is no limit to adding any number of indicators in Algoverse. And here I can come and configure a comprehensive entry condition. That is, I'm giving my current close is above super trend. And my RSI levels at the end time of entry should be above 70. And I can come to current close. And here I'm giving it should be above the middle Bollinger Band. And one more condition which I'm giving is it should be above the R1 range. And why I'm giving these specific values, the two I will explain it in just a minute. I'm checking whether my current close is above the last 10 candles highest high. That is the last three candles highest high. And the ADX indicator value should be below, let's say, 35. And you can also add in a volume confirmation since it's a futures. And for that, I've got one more indicator that is a previous candle. So just like the current candle, the previous candle gives you the OHLC volume open interest values of the previously closed candle. So I'm saying current volume should be above my previous volume. As you can see, this is a comprehensive condition. And this is to show you how many entry logics or entry conditions we can automate in Algoverse with these. So I've added like what three, six, close to eight indicators, and I've added all of them in the entry condition. Let's say entry, let's keep it simple with a simple super trend. And let's trade premium near, say, 220, for example. And let's give a point based stop loss of 50 points, maybe. So this is to show you guys what is the capabilities in Algos. I can add this number of indicators and then automate them with these. And after configuring these values, I'm clicking on run. Now, Algoverse will check all these conditions with the past, let's say 5 years, 4 to 5 years of market data and give me a comprehensive report. I can see I have this is the result I got for that particular condition. 47% win rate, 26,000 drawdown over 48 days. And I can see how the strategy is performed across, the years and across multiple days also. How it performs on each individual Thursday and everything. And data says I have 461 transactions for this one. And I can see, what is my win streak, loss rate with this. Here I can see three continuous wins, big wins, and four continuous small losses. Five, and then again a win, three losses, again a win. And as I told, this particular setup that we saw at the last to show what is capable, what is possible in Algos and how much of a capable platform it is. So we started with, let's say, one or two indicators, but Algos, you guys can configure any number of indicators and any set of entry conditions. Let's say this is for a bullish condition. I can add one more case, have a bearish condition. I can have add one more case and have a non-directional condition. That is, whichever condition, let's say uh, before 11:30, let's say either the bullish or bearish condition should have taken trade, or else after 11:30, I will deploy a short strategy, like any conditions you can think of. Likewise, I can add 10, different cases under one single strategy. So if you guys have any other questions, do put it in the YouTube live chat box. And if you guys are new to the platform, we have a live Q&A session every trading day at 4 p.m. where you can join and ask any queries. Let's say starting from what is Algoverse, how can you get started with this, or else if you're already using the platform and have questions regarding how to configure certain setups and everything, you guys can come to Algoverse, click on the first banner and join the live Q&A session every trading day at 4 p.m. And the second banner will redirect you to a YouTube playlist where we have every single video content that's required for you to get started with Algoverse. This contains what is Algoverse, how can I read a backtest report, how can I build an option selling strategy, how can I, automate a multi-indicator option buying strategy, an expiry day setup. You know, this has content that's for getting you started with Algoverse. So if you're a new user, do check this out. It will be very helpful. And also, you can put all your queries in the community.upstox.com under the Algoverse section, where the queries will be answered immediately by our team. So if you guys have any final questions to put it in the chat box. And while we are waiting for questions, let me quickly explain the pricing also. Pricings are very simple and nominal in Algoverse. That is, our live execution charges starts as low as 10 rupees per day. That is, if you're building a basic setup, let's say a directional, let's say a non-directional strangle or a straddle, and let's say directional multi-indicator buying strategies like the one which we saw now. These we are charge only 10 rupees per day for these. Let's say if your strategy uses any advanced features, let's say the multiple pieces that we saw, or the adjustment feature, or the strike multiplay, calendar spreads, anything like that, then we charge 20 rupees per day. And all the strategies, I mean all the pricing are for one deployment only. And it's not like uh, the pricing which you see in the see with other algo trading platforms, where you have to pay an upfront subscription cost, let's say like it be 2,000, 3,000, or 5,000. And we have a comprehensive backtest planning also, which starts as low as 99 for 25 backtest credits, and it goes up to 1,999 for 1,000 backtest credits. So depending on your backtest needs and usage, you guys can purchase the plan which fits you. And we have also a video for explaining the advanced features in Algorithm. So what are the advanced features and how can you use them in your strategies, and how can you automate different setups in algorithms. So I highly recommend you guys to check out this YouTube playlist. And if you're also looking for a Q&A session, you just can join the live Q&A session by coming to Algoverse and clicking on the first banner. So that's it for today's session, everyone. And don't forget, this is the first of the sessions that is going to come based on the indicators topic in Algos. We have literally 85 plus technical indicators and analytical tools, you know, based on which we'll be having much more sessions in the future, explaining what are the different indicators, what are the different functions such as the math function, the signal function, the range breakout, or let's say difference between the previous and candle and last 10 candles, and how to create different setups with all the strategies, all the indicators that are available. So do stay tuned for that. That's it for today's session, everyone. Thank you very much for joining and have a very good evening.